श्रीमती Kanimozhi.
Thank you, sir. So I'd like to introduce myself here. My descendants are not rishis. Unfortunately, my ancestors are not rishis. My ancestors are Homo sapiens, as science says, and my parents are Sudras. They were not even born of any god or a part of any god. They were born outside. And here, I am here, and many people from my state are here because of the social justice movement and the human rights which we fought for till today. And we would continue doing that. And I think it is very important part of human rights to preserve the scientific temper of the people of this country. Without that, we cannot have human rights, and I think you have to make sure and protect that scientific temper is there in this house and nobody violates that. Thank you, sir. Yes, it is in our constitution, but constitution doesn't matter anymore, I think. Sir, it was said that whatever the bill is today, it has been brought according to the recommendations of the Paris principles. But here I'd just like to quote this SCA here. It says that it encourages the NHRCI to advocate for a formalization and application of a process that includes requirements to publicize vacancies broadly, maximize the number of potential candidates from a wide range of societal groups and educational qualifications, promote broad consultation or participation in the application, screening, selection and appointment process, access applicants on the basis of predetermined objective and publicly available criteria, select members to serve in their individual capacity rather than on behalf of any organization they represent. I don't think this bill has taken into consideration the recommendations of the SCA. So in the first place itself, it violates that. So the next thing is the bill actually tries to include membership from chairpersons of National Commission for Backward Classes, National Commission of Protection of Child Rights and the Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities. We cannot forget the fact that these people who've been appointed as chairpersons are close to the political parties in power, this government or any government. They are close political appointees. So how can this body, the NHRC, work independently when the members which are being included are also political employees here? And it is also said in many studies we have come to see that most of these members, the chairpersons of these committees, do not attend the meetings. It has been recommended that independent NGOs, whatever this government has, in spite of it having a lot of things against the NGOs, we cannot forget the fact that they have been working for human rights in this country. Whenever the human rights has been tampered by the government, the Dalit rights, the minority rights and the women's rights has been tampered, I think it is these these social activists who made sure that they protected the human rights of the citizens. So people from that with credibility have to be included in this. Sir, and there is a change that from the Chief Justice, any judge can be appointed as the chairperson of this committee. So this actually will open up a wide bracket of choices for the government, which in turn will have a potential of resulting in an unhealthy competition among the members of the serving judiciary and more politicization of the same. And another important thing is, I've already said that there's no transparency in these appointments, and the tenure of reappointment has been reduced to 3 years. The judge, the person who is taking in charge, will not have enough time, adequate time, if you're going to reduce it to 3 years, to even understand what the issues are, the problems are, to resolve that. And when you're talking about a second term appointment, obviously the person who's going to be appointed there has to give in to whatever the government, the present day government wants, so that if they want to seek reappointment. So that causes a lot of doubts in the minds of people who believe in human rights. This issue, point of giving a second term definitely will compromise the NHRC. And just appointing one more person does not solve any purpose, because there are over 1 lakh cases. Per day there are more than 450 cases which come to the Human Rights Council in India. And how does just appointing one more person solve the problem? And they are saying that they'll include one more women member. The staff, which is nearly 500, has only 20% of women members in them. And it just including one more person, to represent women, at least 50% of it should be women. One more does not solve any purpose. And the powers of the Secretary General have been changed in this. Just a minute, sir. It has been changed. Earlier it was the Commission which had the powers, but now the entire powers has been shifted to the chairperson, and it rests solely with the chairperson, and this is definitely not democratic. Sir, we were talking about human rights in India, so how much of human rights how far it has come and how important it has become. But sadly, the world looks at us in a very, very different way today. India is ranked as the 28th worst offender of human rights in the world. This is a point where we have to be ashamed of all of us. Ashamed to be a part of this. The minority rights have been taken away. The Dalits, we know how the Dalits in this country are being treated. There is absolutely no right of debate, dialogue in the country. Writers, thinkers, activists have been arrested, killed for voicing their opinion. Is this what we talk about human rights? Yes? Sir, and the NHRC does not even have jurisdiction over the armed forces. Whatever excesses the armed forces commit, the NHRC cannot have anything to do with it. They cannot call for an investigation over there. They cannot look into what is happening over there. It's completely toothless when it comes to the armed forces. And the cases of custodial deaths have doubled. And after 2016, the government conveniently has stopped giving prison statistics and crime statistics, giving it out. So this is the way the government solves the issues and questions. It stops giving out information. That is the way they solve issues in this country. So these changes are very, very, very superficial, and it's actually diluting the Human Rights Commission in this country. And through you, I ask the government to withdraw this bill and bring a bill which really cares about human rights, which will uphold human rights in this country. And I'd like to call Nelson Mandela, the icon of social justice and human rights. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. We are all only humans, sir, so we want the human rights to be protected. So please protect it. Thank you.
Ji, 5 minutes this time. Please. Start to कीजिए.
What will I speak on human rights?
Please.
Sir, I speak to rights to speak on the bill. I am opposed to the bill, which is why I have given 6 amendments to the bill. I support whatever Srimati Kanimozhi has said, and I oppose whatever Mr. Satyapal Singh has said. See, Satyapal Singh is an antithesis of the Constitution. The Constitution, Article 51A says, it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. In number 8, what Satyapal ji has said, that we have not evolved from monkeys, he is denying the theory of evolution of Darwin.
Come to the bill, Dada.
No, but why did he say? Why did he say all those things? तब क्यों नहीं बोला? So,
Okay, now please. Let Saugata speak.
So, and it is strange that the ruling party has put up a former police commissioner to speak on human rights. It is the police in the country, everywhere, who violate the human rights, who beat people to death in a police lockup. It is the police.